Weaponeer here, and this is the Linco Flora light. Recently I started using the Linco Flora lights, and right away on the first video I had people commenting on how good the quality looked. And it wasn't due to the camera, because I was already using a good camera. I use a JVC GZ HD6, and it's a hard drive camera, and I can shoot a lot of videos at a time and not have to worry about filling it up. Now, it shoots 1080p all day long, so it's really good quality HD. And the problem was, I was using, at first, like you saw on one of the other videos, I showed you what I've used along the years, and basically the videos that I was shooting were the good quality videos as far as content goes, but the quality of the lighting basically sucked. If your lighting is not up to par, your video will not be up to par, and it's just that way every time. I have professional lights, and I like them, my QL1000s, but they're just a wrong light for me. They work great, and I like them, as long as I don't have to tear them down and put them back up again, and as long as I don't have to be in a small room with them. Any other time, they're really good lights. But recently I went ahead and I tried the Floras here. This is the Linco Flora. Flora because basically it looks like a flower. And this right here is a 6-bulb setup. The bulbs that I have in here are 5500K. You can get bulbs in 3500K, 5500K, and 6500K. So I got the middle ground for bulbs in this thing right now, and obviously there's 6, and obviously they're fluorescent. They look like super-sized ones that you would use in your house. I mean, take a look how big those things are. They're really good sized. Now, the other thing is these are 85 watt and 120 volt 60 hertz lights. And if you were in Europe or so, you probably want the 230 volt 50 hertz. Now, I've used a lot of different kind of lights. I've used everything from sunlight. I've used shop lights. The quartz halogen shop lights. I've used those, and I even went ahead and put router speed controls on them, so I can dim them down a bit. I've used professional lightings, the QL1000s with the big soft boxes, and I've used the cheap fluorescents. And I tell you, there's a big difference between a photography fluorescent and a house fluorescent. There's a big difference between light, because I was using, before I started using the Flora, the last thing I was using was fluorescent lights. They look just like this, but a little bit smaller. And they don't have the quality of light. They just don't. The other thing about fluorescent lights is, all the different kind of lights have a different temperature range, not just heat that they put off, but the light temperature. And like this one here, the bulbs I have in here are 5500K, and that's the light range. And if you use a incandescent bulb, or if you use a halogen light, they all have different ratings. So a halogen light might give a more warmer light, so it'll have more of a yellowish tint to it, so it looks like a little bit warmer. And the fluorescents here, these right here have a cooler appearance. And with a regular home style bulb, they tend to have a greenish blue tint. And sometimes you don't notice it. Sometimes if you're really picky, you really notice it. Depends on how really good your camera is. So with these, zero tint that I've been able to detect. And basically what I really loved about these, they're easy to set up. I just went ahead and I screwed in 6 bulbs. There's some cautions here. Number one, this is really heavy duty plastic. This will take some abuse. You can go ahead and take this, throw it down the street, as long as there's no bulbs in it. And you probably have some scratches on it, but that's about as far as you're going to get as far as damage. These are heavy duty. The bulbs, you never grab a hold of the top. This is especially important when you're dealing with quartz halogen. With a quartz halogen bulb, never ever ever touch that bulb. because as soon as you touch it, you're going to reduce the lifespan of that bulb, because your fingers have grease, and so you touch the bulb and you leave a fingerprint on there, and just kiss her goodbye. It's not quite the same with the fluorescence, but with the fluorescence, if you screw it in here, you're putting all the stress right here. And if you're putting all the stress right here, there's a good chance you could crack it. And you don't want to go ahead and crack a $35 light. It's just not a good idea. Treat them with care, just like you should any other light bulb. Probably more so. 5 lights, remember, you go ahead and you screw them in from the base here, and don't have to worry about it. They're cool lights, and they also have they're also energy efficient because they're fluorescents. Big box. Keep the box. Your boxes are for storage. These are extra bright lights. They last about 8,000 hours, and obviously the energy savings up to 80% over incandescence, I believe. And these, they don't have the high temperature of the quartz halogens, so I don't have to sit there with a fan or something like that. These are really nice. If you use these like 4 hours a day, you're going to last like 5 years. So you're not probably going to use them for 4 hours a day like I do. And these are still going to last at least for 5 years for me. There's no noise. There's no flickering on these at all. Everything you see is really pretty light. And if you take a look at the way I'm lit, right now I'm lit by 2 floras. I've got one mounted high, and it's coming down. All the high points are covered. And I got one to the other side, covering the other side of the face, basically, but at an upward angle. And that's filling in all the shadows. So I got a smaller room, so I got to deal with issues like that a little bit differently than you would in a studio. For YouTube, it's a little bit different than what you would have for shooting an indie film or something like that. And since I deal with shooting a whole lot of video for YouTube, basically, just about one every working day, at least that's what I try to do. Because of that, well, I have to have a different setup. If I had a larger area, I would have a different setup. I would have more of a conventional 3-point. Now, this right here is my third light. This would normally be used for my hair light. Like I said, I also call these headlights rather than hair lights because not all guys have hair these days. And, well, don't want to go ahead and upset anybody. But either way, you're basically trying to illuminate the top. And I don't have that need right now. I basically do have a light, and it's a ceiling light, and I've got a couple high power lights in there. Could you do something like this with the bulbs? Probably could in a minor kind of way. I just, if you can go ahead and afford to go ahead and get real lights, I really suggest it. Number one, you're getting the stands. And these stands are a lot better than my other stands. My QL1000, I thought they were great stands, and I do like them. They're really nice stands. I thought I had one sitting right here, and I guess I don't. They were really nice stands, and I was really proud of them. And come to find out that I used one of those stands with one of my Flora lights, and I just about had to go ahead and put a rope on the Flora light and screwed into the wall because it was always trying to fall over. And then I started looking at the Flora light again, light stand, and it was like, wow, that thing, I can really go ahead and spread that out. And sure enough, I just go ahead and unscrew it and drop it down all the way and tighten it back up, and rock solid. So the Flora light stands, much better. Basically, your light stand is basically just the same as a tripod for your camera. It's a tripod for lights. So your light stand, in this case, is an 8-foot light stand, so it's going to really reach up there quite a little ways. I have no problem at all. As a matter of fact, I have a lot of problems with my softboxes rubbing up against the ceiling. That's how high they go. They go up a little bit higher than my ceilings, and I try to push them up there as far as I can get, but I've got more limitations than the stands do. Now, as far as Flora light, like you can see the 6 lights here, and well, the 6 lights, there's 2 switches in the back. And I'll go ahead and I'll show you that. Now, here's your 2 switches. You got one for 3 lights and the other for 3 lights. So if you turn on one, you should get something like this one, and this one. If you turn on the other one at the same time, then you get, you know, like that one, and that one. So it's every other light. So it's not like you're turning on the top or turning on the bottom or the sides. It's just every other light. So when you go ahead and you turn on both lights, you go from 50% power to 100% power. It's just that easy. Now, this is fuse protected. You don't have to worry. This is all fire resistant, so you don't have to worry about that either. These run cool. I have had 0 problems with them. The light stands and the light itself has the plastic handles, but all my other ones have plastic handles too. I like this one right here. This one's really nice because it's a lot bigger, and I can really grab hold of that thing and tighten it down like any good grip should, and it works really nice that way. The Softbox, well, you get your choice between a Softbox. Well, you have the option of having a Softbox or an umbrella. And some photographers prefer the umbrellas. An umbrella looks like a regular umbrella. You go ahead and you take it and you open it up like an umbrella. And then you stick the rod, part you would normally hang on with your hand, right through the center and into the hole right down the middle here. There's a hole right through there, and it's got 2 little screws. You got one here and one here. I can't even see over there, I can still find them. And you just drop that thing right down the center, tighten this one up, and you're done. Your umbrella's on there, and then it's just like a satellite dish at that point. Your umbrella's like this, and it's focusing the light that way. Really easy to use. Now, and that's what I love about the Flora. They're so easy. I also like the way that it has this grip here. As you can see, I'm easily able to go ahead and position this light any way I want to do that. My other lights don't have the QL1000s don't have that, and they get so darn hot you don't want to touch them. There's only one thing that some people not complain about, but they comment on, and that's this foam, which is really comfortable. Well, it's not tied down. It's not stuck there, and it rotates. Well, if you have a problem, just go ahead and just take some Elmer's glue and slip it all the way up there. Put a little Elmer's glue on there and slide it down, and you know, in a few minutes or so, it's going to go ahead and be stuck there. You're never going to have a problem losing your grip. I never have a problem the way it is. It's easy to go ahead and point it up, all the way up, or anything else. And I'm doing it with one hand, so it's not that big of a deal. It is easy to position. You don't have any problems with that. You can go ahead and you can take this with the light stand. You loosen up the light stand and you can lift this thing up there out of view for you. And we just tighten it up right there, as you can see. So they grounded plug, so you don't have to worry about that. And the first thing I noticed, you know, and the first thing I told you about was if you go ahead and you position it like this, it looks like a flower. Well, when you go ahead and you put the Softbox on there, the Softbox makes it even look like a big tulip. The Softbox is just like the umbrella. I'm going to do a separate video on the Softbox. The Softbox is I think they call it the Easy Softbox, and there's a good reason for that. It is super easy. I don't have the dexterity that I used to, and so when it comes to setting up my old Softboxes, oh man, they've got little wires. You have to go ahead and put those steel wires in there, and there's a lot of piddling. Probably takes you about 5-10 minutes to do one Softbox. This right here, you can go ahead and install. You can take your Softbox out of the case and install it, I'd say, in a minute. You know, a good 60 seconds, probably a lot less. You could probably do it in probably about 15 seconds, really. But I mean, it's super easy to open up. You go ahead and you open it up, and you go ahead and you stick it right down the center. Yeah, you got the screw. You tighten it and tighten this one, and you're done. It's installed. But the only thing is, you have to go ahead and install the lights afterwards. So it's basically, the assembly is light stand, Flora light, then either you can go ahead and put on your Softbox, and then you screw in your light bulbs, because the Softbox is smaller around the base here, so you have to go ahead and screw in the light bulbs at the end. Now, then over the front, you know, on the inside of the softbox, it's all reflective material, so it's all reflecting like a laser beam or like a car headlight, and it's reflecting the light in one direction. So you're focusing the light. With the softbox, you have the option of going ahead and putting a diffuser on the front, and it's just like a soft nylon or cotton, and it goes over, and it's white, and it just basically puts out a nice even glow. There's no hot spots or anything like that. As you can see, my shirt should be a nice even color, and there shouldn't be anything brighter than anything else unless it's actually brighter. So you know, the light is a lot better. Now the softbox, I really prefer the softboxes. The softbox have this nice glow to it, and especially right now with me using the background set here from Linco, since I'm using the black and you can see me and the light, it makes it a lot easier because, you know, the black absorbs the light, so there's a nice soft glow on me but not the background. So I'm able to control your, you know, your focus, and it works just as good when you're shooting video. It's the same deal. Now, how do I rate it? From 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I actually do rate this as a 10. This right here has been phenomenal. I really, really, really like it, and I can't imagine not using it anymore. I could not go back to my regular ones. And the whole thing is, you can have a cheap camera. You can go ahead and use a flip camera, you know, between $100 to $200 camera, or you can use your iPhone or something like that, you know, something that's not really a dedicated camera, and or high quality one at least, and you can use one of those, and if you have proper lighting like this, it's going to look good. So if you have a really good camera, like mine's a good camera, the camera that I use, you know, the JVC GZ HD6, you know, 3C CD camera, it's a fairly good camera. If I go ahead and I go back to the lights I had before, it's poor quality, and it comes across in the video. You can see it. It's not as sharp, it's not as crisp, it's not as clear. The colors don't stand out, and that's all because of the lighting. So once I went ahead and I started using the Linco lights, that's when everything changed for me. That's when everything started getting brighter, cleaner, crisper, and at the same time, I went ahead and I went from, you know, spending 40 minutes editing a video. I do a lot of edits, and you know, instead of doing 40-minute edits, I went from spending a lot of time editing down to basically hardly no editing at all. It's all render time now. So I go ahead and I put together a video in no time, and that's because of the lights. I don't have to add all the extra light, and because I'm not adding all the extra light, it's not adding any extra processing time, and so, you know, they render quicker, so there's less graphic or FX involved in my videos. I do like to still add them, and sometimes I was going to add more to this one right here because I can go ahead and give the shirt and the light a more angelic glow. I thought that would have been nice, but it would have taken like 3 days to render on my pitiful computer. So rather than do that, now with these lights, now I can just go ahead and shoot the video with these lights, and it renders really quick, really nice colors. I don't have to do anything. I tone it down just a little bit because of the black background. So why is this one here and not up? Because I don't need it. It's too small of a room. I currently use the boom pole that's used for this one here. The boom pole is used for my microphone. So I got, there's a stand like this, and it's got a boom pole attached to it. It's designed to hold the light, so it holds it up over your head. And rather than do that, I just use the boom pole section just for my microphone, because I was able to get my microphone off the camera and about 2 feet away from me, so you can have better quality audio. Ta-da! So there you go. This right here, highly recommended. If you don't need something this big right now, if you shoot video, you get what you pay for. It's just that easy. They do have starter kits at Linco. I really like the Linco products because everything I've tried has worked beautifully, and you can see it too. It's not BS. because you can see the quality of my videos have gone up since I've been using it. And even with the backgrounds and stuff like that, it's all presentation and you can see it, and so you know it's not BS. So I really can't complain about them at all. I love them. And you know, if you need a I think they have 400-watt starter kits for about $100. They're not like this, they're not Floras, but it's just, you know, it'd be like a light stand, a light bulb, and then that's it. It's got like 2 stands, 2 light bulbs, and that's about it. And it's, you know, 400 watt. So, you know, that right there is perfect for, you know, if you're doing just basic videos. And then you can go ahead and add a softbox onto that later, or an umbrella onto it later. It at least gets your foot in the door. But I really do suggest that if you got the money and you like shooting the videos, get the Flora. The Flora is like the pinnacle, and you know, I can go ahead and I can use brighter bulbs and, you know, mimic outdoors and all kinds of stuff. So with that, having said all that stuff, if you have any comments or questions on this light or any of the other ones from Linco even, feel free, go ahead and post it. You know, go ahead and post it. If you have a lot of questions, go ahead and respond by video. Do a video response on it, and I'll try to go ahead and answer the video response questions from that. I like answering questions. You know, you guys know I answer a lot of questions. I spend a lot of time on the channel answering questions. So if you have any comments or questions, feel free. Post it, or post a video on it, and I'll go ahead and I'll try to answer it. Can you do it cheaper? Yes, but you're gonna, you know, you get what you pay for. Like I said, if you want to go ahead and spend $50, it's going to look like you spent $50. If you want to go ahead and, you know, get you know, a $100 set, it's going to look like you've got at least some professional lighting. And the better lighting, the better quality. The better quality, the more subscribers. More subscribers, if you're a partner, the more money you're going to make. So there you go. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to rate. I'm Weaponeer, and I'll catch you in the next video.
What you want?